So China is attempting to wipe out the minority populations of China and replace them essentially, as you're saying, or assimilate them into the Han Chinese group. Like why do they think this is necessary? Like what is it about the Han Chinese that makes them believe that, or what is it to do with their plan that means they have to murder
Yes,
and sort of co-opt any kind of
yes,
culture, erase any opposition or anyone that's even slightly different? Like that's horrifying. Like what is their end game? What's their
yeah,
goal?
yeah. Let me explain that to you. I have did some research trying to formulate the problem. Why China is trying to eradicate Uyghur race? Why now? There are seven main reasons. The one reason is Belt Road Initiative. I think you know this project. It's a huge project related to more than 70 countries in the world. There are three main land routes for this project. The one starts from Xi'an and passes through East Turkestan. Other two main routes starts from East Turkestan. Its starting point is our homeland. And one goes from our homeland to Pakistan, Gwadar port. That's the main commercial route for China. Another one goes to Central Asia, and from Central Asia go to Europe. So the Road Belt Initiative is a huge project. China designed to dominate the world. And the three main routes pass through or starts from our homeland. So to be successful in this project, China needs a very stable region in East Turkestan. And they thought Uyghurs a factor of instability because they tried 70 years almost to assimilate the Uyghur people and they couldn't do it. So what they're doing right now is a final solution. They want to eradicate Uyghur people and achieve stability in East Turkestan so that they are successful in road belt initiative. That's the number one reason. Number two reason is China's concern about the war between China and the U.S. There were some meetings I learned in the U.S. about some strategic plan how to destabilize China from inside, and they thought about the Uyghur people. Uyghur people is the main advantageous factor for that. The retired general talks about that thing too. And the China thought that one day, if China goes to war with the US can easily arm 300 to 500,000 Uyghur people, young, strong Uyghur people in East Turkestan, and those people will fight alongside the US against China. There is a Chinese general. He's also an advisor to the Central Army Committee. He's a professor at the China National Defense University. He has a lecture given in 2011. He talks about the subject. He says China is saying terrorist is the main threat to our country, but it's not. It is the Uyghur people. The Uyghur people has a huge population in Kashgar and Hotan, and like 95% of those regions are Uyghurs. And he says this: if China goes to war with the US, US can easily arm 300 to 500 young Uyghur men, and they will fight against China. I will use my power to solve this problem. This is what he said in 2011. So what you see right now, he is solving the problem. The first round of the detention took place mostly in Kashgar, Hotan, 500,000 young men. They were all taken to Han provinces, starting in early 2018, day and night by train. And those 500,000 young men, all are male, very strong, healthy, and religious. They were taken in the first phase. So this is number two reason. Number three reason is China has a needs for land and resources, but not for human population. You know, China is overpopulated. They have more than enough of population. And when it comes to minority, They don't need the people. They don't need the minority people. They need their land and resources. The same thing is true with us. We are about 20 million population. For China, it's nothing. It's a census error, actually. China has a census error between 10 to 20 million. We are that small in China. So if we disappear, it means nothing for them. That's why they don't care if the Uyghur people die. They are happier, actually, if they can get rid of more people in East Turkestan. So this is number 3 reason. Number 4 is the opportunity. China worked for a long time for these days. The thing they did is they basically bought out many foreign governments with the economic opportunity or investment. And they choose this time thinking that no, they can do this and the international community will stay silent. And that's the case we are seeing. So they had this opportunity. They are strong economically. So the Islamic world, Turkish world, Western world, all got bought out by Chinese government. And when this is happening, like I have a Twitter account. I put out news every day. I get most information from our homeland directly. What's happening there? Nobody cares. It is happening. The world is watching. It's happening. So then, number 4 reason is the opportunity. Number 5 is the nature of Han people's culture. I mentioned to you a little bit earlier. There is a lecture given by Ayuejin, a professor at Nankai University, and he says the main character of the Han Chinese people is the assimilation. We assimilate the good races and keep them, but we eradicate the bad ones. He says this to an army class at Nankai University. So that's why I said earlier that Chinese government says there are 56 minority groups in China, but they are gone. They all got assimilated. This professor mentions that too. They assimilated most of the minorities already. The number 6 has something to do with the Chinese rulers, historically, even today. The Chinese rulers get used to kill large number of people. If you look at 2,000 years ago, in 215 BC, the Chen Shi Huang, I don't know if you know him or not, is the person who unified 7 countries in China and gave birth to the current China in 215 BC. At the last war, he captures 10,000 prisoners of the war, and he orders to kill all of them. There's a YouTube documentary on that one. The recent one, during the Cultural Revolution, Mao Zedong ordered to kill the large portion of the Chinese population, and people estimate about 30 to 60 million Chinese population died between 1965 to 1975 during the Cultural Revolution. Mao Zedong gave order to kill. It didn't happen by accident. And in our region, I can tell you many incidents, massacres happened after 1949. In each incident, we lost about 10,000 people. The latest one is in 2014 in Yakan. 3 villages were flattened in one night. Another one in 2017, another 3 villages were flattened in Korla prefecture in one night. What they do, they build human wall, 3 walls in circle, like 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. The order coming from the government is even don't allow one bird to fly out from the area. They just lock down the whole area, flatten the village. Next day you see nothing. The people and the houses, everything's gone. One Chinese army member who participated in Yakan massacre, later he came out to abroad and he talked about that. Do you know what he said? He said he killed the people, buried them, flattened the houses, and they built trees on that land during the night. So today, there are villages, houses, people. Next day is flat with the newly planted trees. This is how China does things. Because they don't allow any foreigners, any reporters, any cameras, and any outsiders. As I said, they build human wall before doing this kind of operation. They finish in one night, this kind of thing. The world doesn't know about that. Nobody talks about it. So it happened to us again and again. So this is number 6 reason. China does not care about human life. To kill, they are willing to do mass killing secretly. They call this operation as the lock the door and hit the dog. First, you lock the door, keeping the dog inside, and you hit the dog so that nobody can hear about it. This is their tactic. This is number 6. Number 7, I just read recently in some articles that China is planning to direct 2 rivers from Tibet to East Turkestan and convert the East Turkestan to China's California. This is in the article. People doing proposal and doing research, feasibility studies right now about this. And what this means is China is wanted to convert East Turkestan, no Uyghur land, get rid of all Uyghur land. And that article says they are planning to move more than 200 million population. So this is number 7. So these are the reasons why China wants to eradicate the Uyghur people and why they want to do it now. Both the opportunities came, they did a very good preparation for that, and they anticipated the current silencing from the world, and they're getting it. It's happening right now.
So I understand that some of the parts of the world being just silent on this due to China's economic help through and partially through parts of the Belt and Road Initiative, as you mentioned, but as you also said, the Uyghur people could be are in China's view anyway, at least a weakness if there's a future war between China and the United States or the West or just if China decides to go to war with NATO or anyone, that the Uyghur people are seen as a weakness. And should that not mean that the West and the developed world and the free world should be even more concerned with this, because it's kind of an indication that China anticipate war, and I'm still like just shocked. Like, I mean, I was aware that it was going on, but when you lay it out like that, it's stunning that nothing has been said really about this. I mean, this is the reason that the Allies went to war against Hitler, was because he was I don't even think they were aware of the extent to which Hitler was killing people. Like, as far as I was aware, that like early in the war, especially before he had started his final solution, it was literally even just the idea that they were promoting like one race above others. We didn't even know really like the extent to which he had started to kill or was planning to kill the Jewish people, and yet here we are sat not saying anything and not imposing huge sanctions against China for doing something that, like I'm taught at school, is the worst thing that ever happened in history. I mean, it's probably got some competitors in history, especially by the sounds of Chinese rulers that you've listed there that have killed a lot of people. But yeah, I'm stunned at the lack of reaction from nations that haven't been bought off. Thanks so much for listening. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast and to our mailing list. And don't forget, my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. You'll find the link in the description below. Until next time, thanks so much for listening.